I am the Group Managing Director of AIM Group, and we have 5 companies in the group. AIM Consultants, and also in broadcasting we have Cool FM, Wazobia FM, and Nigeria FM.
My name is Evita Moussalli. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the broadcasting arm of the group. So the 3 radio stations, Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria FM, in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Kano. Well, I've actually been back in the country for 4 years now, and I've been focusing on the stations for about 3 years. And what does it entail exactly? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm supposed to oversee everything and all the logistics and everything, all of the happenings in each department. But a lot of what I do on a daily basis is problem solving, really. And we have our dedicated days where we have meetings, internal meetings, and I also do a lot of we have meetings outdoors where you have to go and meet with clients, or events where you have to show your face and be visible. I also go around the stations on a quarterly basis. Okay. I'm based in Lagos, but I do go and visit the other stations. And with social media, obviously, you know, it's very easy to stay in touch with everyone without necessarily being there in person.
We are reaching to the people. The social media is making these guys to know us better, to listen to us when they are not on the web.
Okay.
So the web radio, let me call it, the web radio is very, very successful, and I think maybe in 10 years' time, the still radios will begin to go down. Now we call them still radios because still radio is still radio and web radio. I mean, still radio will go down with time.
Social media on its own is just like a, I don't know what you want to call it, a revolution on its own. It's a whole different level of communication, and especially in Nigeria, it has really, it's come to the forefront of, I think anyways, of all types of you know, communication, and it has definitely helped for us to be more visible. We're heard not just in Nigeria, but in the whole continent, in the whole world. We stream audio and video on each of the stations, and that's not just the 3 brands, but we have 11 radio stations right now. So, and they're independent, they broadcast independent programs, so you can imagine what that has been able to do for us.
Well, you see, in 1992, IBB was the first president in the continent that said media should go also to private sector. So at that time, if you want me to tell you the truth, I wanted to be an actor, and I found out that through this medium I can achieve a little bit of my passion. I always said I have a passion and nobody will take my passion away. I had a tough mother, and she told me, no way, you will be an actor, I want you to be a mechanical engineer, I wanted you to fly.
Wow.
And here I am, I achieved her dream. I went into engineering, but then I went back into something that I loved all the time. And you know, I went to Abuja, I was one of the first settlers in a caravan, we did many things, but in broadcasting, it was a big challenge. We were the 3rd private radio station. It took us some time to launch, because we came up with a new format, not regular, because the people who were before us were new, but like similar to federal stations and state stations. And then from there we were able to take another frequency, Wazobia FM, which Evita didn't tell you how it began. began in Los Angeles, the story, she began with it. And then Nigeria Info came in because we found out that there is a gap in the market, and we needed to give a talk station, and we were the first talk station in Nigeria. And we found out later on there is another talk station in South Africa, but when we tuned to them, I mean, it is completely different. It took us 8 months to launch.
Wow.
I can tell you now we can launch a station in 1 month, prepare ourselves, get new breed presenters, we train them, but it was tough. I mean, it was new for us, completely new. The installations were new. We wanted to do all the engineering work. We didn't want to just import people to install for us because it's double more expensive. So we did it our way. And we fine-tuned the station our way. And we developed the programs our way. We didn't copy, rather we wanted to find out what the people want. I must confess, without bragging, we are one of the groups that refinances from local investment. And I must say, luckily you were watching that express. That's one of the buildings that were owned by my parents in the city center. And these are very precious. If you go there now and see what has been done in Lebanon. So we inherited something, so we brought some money in and then we reinvest. We are at home. I'm a Nigerian now, of course, my grandkids are 5th generation.
Wow.
You need to do a lot of management on your presenters. Because when you get a presenter, they are modest, then suddenly they are wow. And I keep telling the guys, I don't want to use the word D, but I mean, if you go beyond a red line, we have plan B for each and every person. But to succeed is to maintain your presenters, because it's, you know, a restaurant has a kitchen. Without the kitchen, you don't have the restaurant. The same thing in a broadcasting outfit, you need to have very good presenters. I must say, we have a lot of good presenters, and we're not easy with the presenters. We are very regimental. We are very disciplined. If I tell you, the biggest presenter in this organization gets deductions if he is not on time.
Wow.
And whether he is top, whether he can make from emceeing one night and one night 1 million naira, still he has to follow the due process. It's not easy, because it's like you have the carrot and the stick system. I mean, and now the big problem will be when we'll go into TV. So then it's visual, the presenter becomes even more important. I mean, you know, the people recognize him visually. So this is something we have to keep maneuvering our way, management-wise. And you have seen what happened to us in Kano. Maybe you didn't hear what happened in Wazobia. I mean, what we do is we request each presenter to send us his prep. Meaning before he goes on air, he has to be, we certify what he has to do. Unfortunately, something happened during immunization program, an IT student. I mean, you know the whole story. So that was terrible for us. I mean, I had to go all the way. I don't know what's the repercussions still. People still want to take scapegoats. We don't have any business to do with people who don't want to be immunized. The only guy was beaten, and he reported I was beaten. And the rest is history. Of course, we apologize. And we have 3 people who left the company. We were going to dismiss them, but they knew we were dismissing them. They immediately gave their resignations. The head of stations, the head of news, and the leading presenter. So we don't take it easy on these things.
I mean, I lived in the US university, but I always knew that I wanted to come back here, and this is where my family is, and my childhood friends are back here too. So I've always had an attachment to Nigeria, and I would come back every once in a while on vacation, but I would really miss it when I was in the US, and my parents would visit every once in a while too, and they'd bring CDs with them and music and things like that. And I just really missed the local feel of it. It just went beyond listening to Nigerian music. There's just more to that in the way you talk, and you know, just the gestures and the mannerisms and everything that embodies being Nigerian. And Nigeria Info is actually more of my sister's idea.
Wow.
And the idea behind Nigeria Info was, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Nigerians love to talk. They love to talk, they love to hear themselves talk, they love to share, and you're always, I don't know, for me I feel like you can get the best and see really a true identity of Nigerian when he or she is surrounded by people and talking and sharing, and so that's really what it is, talking, whether it's entertainment, sports, news. It's a purely talk station. There's no music. It's entertaining, but not through music, through talk, basically.
We did a big mistake, I can tell you. One is to put 2 stations in Ghana.
Wow.
And we are subsidizing them since day one. The idea of the board was to put the stations in Enugu or Calabar. And I said, no, we have to have a federal character.
Okay.
And I just bullied my way and bullied my way and bullied my way. And I can say I made a mistake, but I hope that things change. You know, you need to hope and hope and hope, because the first time I visited Kano was 1975.
Wow.
I must tell you very frankly, Kano was a big industrial city. Lagos was a small city without the port. Lagos was, I mean, no show. I mean, you know.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, I do cry, I mean, for the investment, but now I must tell you very frankly, we're beginning to search for land elsewhere. It's not easy. So, but let me just expatiate on something that Evita didn't say. When we were given a second frequency, Evita looked at me eyeball to eyeball and said, Dad, you know, you are somehow an alien on Cool FM. I said, why? So, to look at the masses also, you know. I said, what do you mean? I said, it's good to get something that is localized. I said, what? I said, what do you want to name the station? He said, Wazobia. I said, Wazobia? Because Wazobia for me in political terms is a true Nigeria. I mean, when you tell the Wazobia man, it means really a true, you know, he's intermarried all over them. So I came back. It was, the idea was grown up in Los Angeles, and then I came back. We took all our Nigerian managers and said, look, Evita says she is recommending the name Wazobia. I said, MD, please. And she mentioned Pidgin English because they speak Pidgin English. You know, when you grow up, you have your nanny, you listen and this and that. I mean, like my granddaughter and grandchild, now even if they go to French school, they speak English and French. But then there is another language. So everybody rejected it, and the people are here, all of them, because we have people here who have been with us for 30 years. Now the senior manager said, "MD, Niats will be wasting ourselves, time, and money."
Wow.
And I said, man, it's my daughter, I mean, how can I say no? And then the rest is history. We went.
So it was actually a sentimental decision.
And now it's not only the #1 in Nigeria, but the #1 in Africa, population-wise, audience-wise. I mean, because the city is a mega city.
Okay.
So it's really #1 on the rating. I can show it to you. I mean, we have ratings that come every month.
Okay.
And #2 is Cool FM.
Wow. So
And #4 in 1 year
wow.
is Nigeria. So it's incredible.
Fantastic.
Of course, Tatiana researched statistically what Nigerians love. So it's based on statistics. #1 is talk, 2 sports, and 3 news.
Wow.
And our sports guys, we train them not to be commentators, to be entertainers. So when people listen to sports, they are entertained. They are not just following the football.
Okay.
Let me tell you frankly, we are the only company that streams video.
Okay.
Why? Because we want the people in diaspora to watch us live.
Okay.
Now it costs a lot of money, and we're subsidizing it because we don't have yet ads. I mean, people are not appreciating it. The advertisers in Nigeria are not recognizing it, but in the future it will come. But meanwhile, because we have an internet company, so we are able to also cushion this matter.
Okay.
And now coming to, and very soon, our studios will become visual radio, meaning when we open the TV, we will take 15 minutes from a radio station and put it on air.
Wow.
And the normal broadcaster that you see in a U-shaped table will not be that. There will be people going around the table like in a zoo. It's going to, we are going to make a small revolution in broadcasting. Whatever we do in this company, we follow branding. In fact, I remember she encouraged me to take a course when I was there. When I visit, I stay sometimes 3 weeks, and in UCLA they give external courses, and then I appreciated so much branding. And so, like, if you ask me what is we, I don't know who is your man here. I mean, so we in Yoruba means we, and then we in English is we. So we worked a lot to think about it, but in reality, the company that owns we is World Entertainment. So we had to work on it. You know, we have a research department that works quite a lot on ideas. Now, of course, it's a progression, and now the challenge will be to create content that is owned by the company.
Okay.
Usually TV stations, they buy the content, meaning a producer comes and gives content in. I mean, there are some TV stations, if they have 30 shows, maybe 25 of them are not owned by the company, and 5
is
the company. And you know what would happen one day if
When
you
they
have a
decide to
problem
pull
with
out.
one producer. Yeah, so we need to take all these things. And mind you also, why TV came late? Because TV is political.
Wow.
I mean, whenever you begin seeing faces, take for example, I remember Ronald Reagan when he instructed Israel to stop bombarding Beirut. And they called him and told him, Mr. President, we were hearing on CNN, what's happening? I mean, why we cannot continue bombarding? He said, I'm seeing destruction on TV. He said, real sight is different than TV. He said, whatever I see, it's enough for me, stop. And he was one of the strongest presidents.
Wow.
So TV, I mean, whenever you see a bomb, whenever you see blood, I mean, the emotions are different. I mean, the last time I saw somebody being slaughtered by a knife in Syria. It's terrible. So that's the problem of talking. It is really a medium that is very dangerous if it's not well handled. I'm grateful to God
That's a sentence.
for being alive. That's all. This is the first thing I do when I wake up. Say,
Wow.
I am alive.